Good afternoon, and thank you for everyone for attending. As I understand, we have this small group where we can have discussions, but I understand we're also live on Facebook. So happy to also interact with a broader audience. We thank everyone for attending. This is the first Financial Inclusion Lab Research Forum jointly organized by the BSP and Civica. As was mentioned earlier, we had a talk early this year about partnership like this. The idea is to create a platform for collaboration with the academe that will incubate and scale up development solutions to address real problems on the ground insofar as inclusion is concerned. So we all have to adjust. This was supposed to be in UP, Diliman in March, but I'm glad to see a lot of the UP professors in this call. Indeed, I think this will have to be the new normal for meetings and fora. So we're happy to have this with you. Well, in the interim, since that time we talked, we already published our financial inclusion survey results, and the Deputy Director Maynard will present the findings there, and I think that will be fertile ground for discussion and for identification of challenges. If I may segue, Professor Toby worked with us on our second run. No, sorry. Was it the second run, Toby?
It was
After the
the
first one in preparation for the
yeah.
second. Yeah, so hopefully this one is a further, that really helped us improve our focus, and hopefully this one will also similarly give us deep insights that we need to understand the market, the challenges, and the current situation. So the reason why, even at the initial discussion, we really welcome this partnership is that our belief has always been the strength of evidence-based policy making. In fact, when the Financial Inclusion Office was created in the BSP, we were the first in the world actually, and then second was Mexico, to have an office dedicated for financial inclusion. And the first staff personnel in that office were one of them is Maynard, was really designed to be a team to increase our capacity for data collection and analysis to help us inform our initiatives and programs. And so this proposed FI Lab, or this FI Lab, which will bring real-world financial inclusion problems into research by aligning student academic projects with problem sets, if you will, of policymakers and financial service providers, is indeed very aligned to our belief. We support an academe, industry, and government collaboration. This type of collaboration is espoused even in our own national strategy for financial inclusion. So that strategy has been a platform of many such partnerships, and this is something aligned with that. So this collaboration, it was ideal and meaningful then, but it comes now at even a more opportune time. In light of this pandemic, we really saw the vulnerabilities of those who are unserved and unbanked, or those who are underserved or underbanked, particularly our micro, small, and medium enterprises. We know that they were severely affected, and even the institutions that are supporting them, the microfinance institutions, have also become very affected by the pandemic. So they themselves will also need some support to continue their work in serving the last mile, if you will. So we also saw the vulnerabilities of being excluded. As we all know, the pandemic necessitated a massive social transfer program. and 18 million individuals had to be paid in a very speedy manner because of the urgent need for cash transfers. And that really highlighted the fact that without an account, these cash outs done purely physical will really put a strain on personnel and resources, especially in light of the nature of our crisis now, which is a health pandemic, a health crisis that does not support these types of mass payouts that need to be done. So definitely the inclusion front, and we've been working with DSWD on this, and you know, to give you just some good news, at least in this collaboration with DSWD, they're working with 6 financial service providers. One of them is the former work of Rob. So I know Rob from his past life. And you know, they've already created 7.3 million new accounts to disburse digitally, at least the second tranche of the SAP. So if you look at that, that's 7 million of the country's most vulnerable now financially included. And, you know, this is really something you know, that really excites me, but then also challenges us, our team, to think of what will be the second order issues now that we have brought 7.3 million of the most vulnerable, possibly of the poorest, into the financial system, to ensure that they will now benefit from these accounts, they will know how to use it, and that they will really be able to enjoy the value of being formally included. So that would really be something that is a next order agenda for us to look at collectively, no? But also the BSP in partnership with the DSWD. So those are some of the things that the pandemic sort of accelerated. In fact, in 1.5 months during the ECQ, the first declaration of ECQ, we also noted 4 million new digital accounts opened. Okay, so those I mentioned the 7.3 million. Those are really new accounts and very unique accounts. Now, the 4 million, it may be duplicate accounts. Those who were a bit hesitant to go digital were forced to open e-money accounts to make payments from home for all the deliveries and online shopping, maybe. But still, that's a good indication of you know, a willingness to adapt and to use digital means. So that was in a span of a month and a half. So all the efforts we've been doing, I think the pandemic has also accelerated a lot of the you know, the urgency, at least has pointed to the urgency of being financially included. So we hope that the FI Lab, this collaboration, will be able to address the challenges and build on the opportunities that I mentioned, as well as what I was saying as probably next order issues that could be further explored through research collaborations between stakeholders and the academe. So on our part, of course, we will continue to intensify our efforts. You will see that we have made progress. The Philippines has made progress in financial inclusion. Maynard will walk us through some of the findings of the financial inclusion survey. But so I won't talk about that, but maybe I'll just end with sharing with you that the governor has also approved our digital payments transformation roadmap. 2023. So the end goal, or the destination statement, or desired outcome of this roadmap is that the digital first option will be more common among consumers, and that there will be an environment where there is a lot of responsive and inclusive products that are available for all. So that's what it wants to achieve. And this could be evidenced by the high-level targets that the roadmap has put in place, which is inclusion of 70% by 2023. So that's it seemed like a very ambitious goal when the roadmap was crafted, but by the gains in the SAP, we also worked with Dole, and Dole recently issued an advisory to encourage employers to pay wages and salaries into accounts. So we see these catalysts as a means to achieve this. So it seems achievable, 70% by 2023, and electronic retail transactions, 50% of total. So currently, it would probably be roughly around 20%. So again, doubling that by 2023. We are quite confident that we will reach this, but there will be a lot of things that need to be in place. So this roadmap has three main pillars. It talks about digital finance infrastructure. It talks about digital finance data and governance or standards. So, issues like open banking, data sharing frameworks, consent frameworks, building on the upcoming the PhilSys, the national ID, which is a digital ID. So these are all very important and exciting areas that we also want to flag or highlight for possible research or further investigation. So as I said, we will continue to be committed to this. Our governor has stated that he wants to bring BSP closer to the Filipino as his target for his governorship. And we think the financial inclusion agenda, which has been there for a while, the BSP has been pushing this for many years under previous governors, Governor Espinilla, Governor Tetanco, will continue to help in achieving that objective of making the financial system more relevant and inclusive, not as the end in itself, but as a means for broad-based and inclusive growth. So I will end there, and I hope that gives you a good sense of our interest in this partnership, our our current initiatives, and our continued commitment to do this moving forward. So thank you very much for inviting us.